Yeah, he'll still be alright because he gets kick returns. Although he's died down a bit. To me. Yeah. Well, hey. Do I just dive in whenever? Right.
I really want this
Am I good?
First,
yeah. Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hello and welcome to the Thomas Tuchel Fantasy Draft. It's going to be a bit of a casual sort of thing. If you're watching this on Squib TV later on, if it goes up there, apologies that we're not on our shirts with the nice stadium background, but joined by a few guys in the studio, myself, Sam, Jack, Rob, James and Dean, other guys drafting across the country and the world. In fact, I've got someone drafting from America as well today, so hopefully it'll be quite a good draft. What I think I'm going to do is I'll just give you a run through the teams that we've got going. So first pick's going to be Jack, the Pepperoni Pizzas. Pepperoni Pizzas, they have had a very good time so far in the league. This is our third season, and for the first two seasons they've got the best winning record, made 2 Super Bowls. Unfortunately for Jack, he's lost both those Super Bowls, but this could easily be his year. Second, drafting Broncos for the win. Another guy called Jack knows the league really well. Awful start last season. I remember James commenting that he lost his first 7 games but was very close to making the playoffs late on, so fingers crossed he'll have a good team this season. Then we've got Kings, my own team, double Super Bowl champion now, the only team that's actually won the Super Bowl, however had an awful record last year and just scraped into the playoffs, so fingers crossed to draft a bit better this year. After that I've got the Flaming Wheels, that's Rob's team, rookie this season, has no idea about the NFL. Hopefully this will help him get into it a bit more. No idea who he's going to pick. That'll be an interesting one if you are watching this to find out who he goes for. Then you've got the T-side team, which we can't say the name of, obviously, because profanities are not allowed. That's James's team. Obviously, Squib TV viewers will be familiar with him and his outlandish views. Obviously claimed that the success trainers indefinitely left Cincinnati, which Dean wasn't happy with. Speaking of Dean, the Flying Bailey is picking at 6. Dino hasn't drafted the last 2 years, but he's been very competitive each time. He did mess around with his team a little bit the first year. Wasn't so involved last year, but almost made the playoffs. Then we've got El Toro Grandes, very unfortunate not to make the Super Bowl. Started poorly, 0-3, but then won every game up until the playoffs. Had one of the best records last year. Hopefully he's set some auto picks up because he is at work, so he can't take part in this one. Then we've got Dre Tones, no idea what his team's going to be like. He was alright last year, he was up there towards the end, made the playoffs. Got battered in the playoffs, but at least he was up there. A lot of his season was banking on Marcus Mariota, who got injured. Just news coming in, actually, El Toro Grandes is actually currently live and in the draft. We've only got 2 teams that aren't in the draft. Drayton's one of those. Then we've got TB12 Prodigy, Alex this guy knows a lot about the NFL. No surprises on who he's probably going to try and draft with the name TB12 Prodigy. Then Sheffield Salamander's another rookie coming in. He's his first season in there. Hopefully he'll do fairly well. Then it's on the clock, or if it's on the clock, no idea what's going to happen with them. They're going to be an auto-pick team, so I assume they're going to pick the guys that we haven't decided on. And then last but not least, picking at the end of this first round, but then picking first in the second round, Dave with Sam Top, Ash Bottom, the name which is kind of outdated now, seeing as Ash is no longer in the league. Dave managed to pick some free agents last season, so hopefully this season he'll pick a bit better. I'm going to move straight over to James. You can't really see him, but I just want to have a little conversation with him beforehand. James, you said you messed up your strategy last year. What are you going to do differently this year with drafting?
Well, I think the problem I had last year was I went for a lot of players who had half decent seasons the year before, but they weren't like the main player in their team, as in they weren't the main player to get points on their team. So this year I might play some, teams that aren't expected to do well, but are the main guys at their particular teams. Yeah,
so rather than going for guys who are maybe third choice receivers, going in there for the guys who are maybe going to be first choice guys at worst teams. So looking maybe like, instead of ignoring the Browns because you don't expect them to do well, going for their star players. Exactly. Just gonna have a quick word, Rob. Your first attempt at the draft, no idea at all about the NFL. Obviously, James doesn't know who Rob is, which is interesting. Handed it to one of his longtime friends, Dean, who was being called Dean since birth. But interestingly enough, James thought he was called Rob for a minute there. Rob, what do you think is going to happen in this draft? Obviously, your first time doing it, no idea about the NFL. Are you looking forward to the experience?
Well, it should be interesting enough, yeah. I don't know. I probably won't do very well, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair enough. Probably not much confidence in him, but I think most guys in this league are going to be fairly decent, fairly competitive league. A guy I wish was here to talk to Broncos for the win. Unfortunately, he's not here, so I'm going to talk to his namesake instead. Jack, what do you think? Broncos for the win last season, not for 7 to start the league, almost with the playoffs. The guy picking second in the draft, who's he going to go for?
I mean, what a comeback last year for starters. But
yeah, brilliant season for him.
12th. Ooh.
Picking second.
Oh, he's picking second. Oh, well. If I was second, I'd pick... Obviously, David Johnson's going to go first, so I'd pick Le'Veon Bell second.
Well, there you go. You've heard it here first. The guy who's picking first has told us he was picking first, so should be no surprises with that first one.
No, yeah.
Le'Veon, obviously, he's not been training with the Steelers, but undoubtedly the guy's going to play. Just a quick word with you, actually, James. Sorry for just passing the mic all over the studio. What do you think that, as a Steelers fan, that means for you?
I don't really know, if I'm honest. I don't really think if he falls to me, potentially, but we'll see.
So you're saying you'd pick him?
If he falls.
So James, you're picking pick number 5. What sort of player? I'm not going to ask you to reveal your pick because I think that's unprofessional of me. But what sort of thing might you be going for? You think you'd be going for a receiver, running back? Would you be going in for a QB so early?
It's one of the wide receiver, running back positions. Just whoever falls to me. Really.
So you've got a few options then for you.
Yeah, potentially.
I just want to have a quick word with him, just because I haven't spoke to him yet. Just Dino, if you can remember his name this time, James. Dino, you're looking forward to this draft? First time you've done the draft on the NFL, done a bit of research. You feeling confident with what you've got in front of you there?
I am, yeah. I've done some research. I've got a strategy.
That's always good. It always helps to have
I'll tell you positions that I'm going for if you want.
Well, yeah, go in the first round. What
I'll tell you what the position I'm going for in the first 2 rounds.
Go on then. Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Definitely a running back.
Definitely a running back.
Rounds.
So that's interesting. Yeah, because that could leave two. Well, that's going to be 2 good running backs gone. But you might also miss out on decent receivers there. But I think there's more good receivers in the league than there is running backs. So
the NFL's much more of a throwing league, and there's always people who can catch the ball. So
I like that. I like that strategy very much. I think that sort of strategy could work
high risk but high reward.
It is high risk, high reward. I'll just take that mic back off you because I'm going to speak to Jack now. Because Jack, you are going first with your pick. Obviously, you've said David Johnson's going to be off the board. I think in every draft across England, America, the world, David Johnson's probably going to be first, if not first, definitely second off the board. But you're in the awkward position where you don't pick again until pick 23. Yeah, pick 24. Sorry. What does that for planning for this draft? What's that sort of done to you going into this?
It's very weird because you miss out on all the middle to late picks in the first round and the second round. and it's basically the first pick, and then you don't start again until the third round. So
yeah,
it's been weird, but I've managed to make it work in some of my mocks.
I think certainly when you look at the 12-team league, obviously we did go through those teams, so it's a 12-team league. I think that's the biggest we've had. So it's going to be really interesting to see what guys go off the board. I mean, you're looking at straight away your first half of your top 50 is going to be gone within, well, the first 10 minutes of this draft. With the first 24 picks almost. So I think it's certainly when you're picking in Jack's position and myself picking third.
I'd like to point out for people who aren't here, I don't know if you can see there, the 13th ranked player is the Broncos, and there's a kicker up there ranked 16, so I hope they aren't getting taken early.
They probably won't get taken too early, just simply because I think we've got more people that are picking now, so you're going to talk, there's only 2 guys who aren't currently in the draft. True. Whether El Toro can stay in for the whole duration remains to be seen, but the guys who aren't picking, that they won't pick all of them. It depends how many guys go, so I mean it'll be very interesting to see what gets picked. It's 45 seconds till KO, so Jack, you're going to be on the clock.
I am.
So yeah, well, I think it'll all catch up. It'll all catch up, James. If you are behind, I'm sure it won't matter. Your start will just you'll still have your normal time for your pick.
30 seconds left.
What I'm going to do, Jack, as you're going to be on the clock, I'm going to let James take the mic. James, you're my Scrib TV colleague, so I'm going to let you talk with me as we go through this. We're going to evaluate that pick. We know straight away that it's going to be David Johnson coming off the board. James, what do you think? Is that a good pick? Is that a bad pick?
Well, it's a great pick, isn't it, really? Because he's a man who's just going to get you points, and that's the main thing in this particular draft.
He is. I'm sorry if you can hear the beep there. A bit off, like James said, he's a little bit behind. I'm also going to send mine down to no sound. And there it is. David Johnson has gone. He has been selected in this draft. Broncos for the win is on the board. On the clock. Yes, you'll get a little sign which says draft when it's your go to go. So yeah, interesting. Hopefully you haven't. Le'Veon Bell, as we expected, the first 2 players have been selected as planned, and the first 3, if my click worked there, it didn't. Nor did it work. It has worked now. Okay. So there we go. No surprises there. And Rob's picked Zeke. Did you? Yep. Which is a very good start to this T side. On the clock now. And he's gone for Mike Evans, a player I highly regarded myself I was going to take there. So let's see what Dino goes. He's changing
It changes as the actual draft is going on. So
James, Mike Evans, I like that pick. Tell us why.
I can't really reveal the full details, but you know, there's a strategy behind all of this. He's guaranteed to get you points throughout the season.
He certainly is.
Player's name and then click draft.
Just Dino with a few technical difficulties there, but we'll see who he's picked. Antonio Brown, great pick. Jack, I'm just going to hand this mic over to you. What do you think's going on here?
Yeah, it's very strange. I wasn't expecting that first 7 with Tom Brady going P7.
There you go.
Interesting pick, definitely. Odell Beckham goes
to Jack.
Yep, we'll put Jack and me talk this. We'll have a lot of mics switching around and so on as this goes on. Odell Beckham went there, by the way, pick 8. He went to was that the Draytons?
He went to Louis, yeah.
Who have we got on the clock now?
That's the second year in a row.
TB, yeah, it's TB12 Prodigy now. Hansen is live and he's picked Devontae Freeman. What a great pick that is. Let's see what the Sheffield Salamanders do on this one. Larry Fitz, great pick. I like that one. Who is it now? If it's on the clock, he's going to go.
McCoy.
And Shady McCoy goes, and Dave Sam Top Ash bottom out. This guy hasn't got much of an idea about it, but let's see what he does in his 2 picks in a row. Aaron Rodgers still on the board, really high. Drew Brees, the man who basically carried Jack's team last year in certain games. Rob Gronkowski up there. This is probably the first year in a long time when Gronkowski hasn't gone in the first round. He is injured all the time now, as Dean's just said. I'm interested to see what Dave does here. I think he'll go for Aaron Rodgers personally. Well, he might not go from this pick. Well, to be fair, it doesn't matter which one he does, yeah. But
Derek Carr, rank 17. Something's wrong with this.
Derek Carr's gone shot up there. We'll see what happens in this round. And who's he gone for? AJ Green goes, and that's a very nice pick. I like what he's done with that one. Rob, how are you finding the draft so far?
Pause the draft.
Well, it's going fast.
He's gone for A-Rod.
Yeah.
good team.
It is going. It is good, yeah.
Melvin Gordon's gone at
Gordon's gone, and so has Aaron Rodgers now. So that's the first year in 3 years that Aaron Rodgers will not be playing for Kings. But I wasn't going to select him this year anyway, unfortunately.
We have to pass this back to someone else.
And
My
Frank,
pick's coming up.
yeah,
soon.
Frank Gore's got it. We'll just. Well, who's picking before you?
Everyone, because I'm last.
You can do it with one hand if you need to.
I'm going to read through my notes here.
And we've got Edelman's just been taken. DeMarco Murray's gone.
Murray.
Sorry, drop.
Is El Toro going to pick in? Your team is now.
El Toro's picking now. And Marshawn Lynch has gone to glove, and that was not a surprise. Let's see who we get here.
Dino.
Do I go Jordan Howard or Jay?
It's up to you, Dean.
Well, he's projected 208, this guy.
And let's see who Dino picks. Dino's caught in a situation he doesn't know who he's going for. He goes for Jordan Howard. And Leonard Fournette goes up to James. That's a bold pick, James. Very bold pick.
Well, yeah, but we saw what Ezekiel Elliott got on in his first season in the NFL, so I'm putting faith in the man.
And Mark Ingram goes, and this means this guy falls to me. The guy who was originally going to be my first round pick until I read reports. Tyreek Hill comes to me. I'll get those kick return yards, those rushing yards and catching yards. All round player. Very happy with that one. And J.J. has been J.J. the guy who was injured actually, but I think he'll be back for the season. Selected by Jack. Some good players on that board now though. And I've got 2 wide receivers, which is the opposite of what Dino's strategy is. So I need to.
No, but my strategy went wrong because Antonio Brown was left, wasn't
He was still left on there.
Sorry if we're not talking enough. It's very much concentration in this.
Another 30 picks to wait before I do that again.
So Jack he did pick up Gronkowski. That's going to be a good pick every time, really.
Risky.
And Des Bryant goes as well, and Spencer Ware is coming to Kings. So far, so good for me. I must say, my draft's working out as I would have hoped.
Mine's going well.
It's my goal.
And we've got I would comment on all these, but yeah, Robbie picking up Matt Ryan, that's a good pick there. Ty Montgomery goes to James, that's a nice pick. Des Bryant's off the board.
A lot of QBs
Jordy
going
Nelson's
early.
off the board. Yeah, QB's going early, and I think James is probably going to pick a quarterback in this round personally, in round 4. And when we get round to that, I'd imagine. Some good pick. Todd Gurley goes off the board there. Good pick from Dean, I think. Let's see what El Toro can do. He'll be happy. He's got Brady and he's got Marshawn Lynch. Jack, what do you think of that Marshawn Lynch pickup? I know you probably found that quite funny.
Yeah, well, he's back. Well, he's not back. He's in Auckland. They needed a running back, so he could get plenty of touchdowns.
Yeah, I think he's a decent pick, but I don't know whether I took him second.
I don't think I'd have took him that early, but although you have to reach for some players.
Yeah, and I think he might have gone off the board at a random point to someone else. But we're still with El Toro now. He's either finished his break and has not left the draft, or he is. I know he's picked someone. He's gone for T.Y. Hilton. Thank you very much, Glove. Nice. He's picked him up. And that's Michael Thomas, who's gone to Louis. And then Drew Brees has gone to that's Hansen there, and Lamar Miller goes to Brim. Good picks so far. Sam talk coming back on Brandon Cooks goes to Cammy.
New England.
And yeah, what's Dave going to do with these 2 picks? Again, 2 picks in a row. It's an interesting one to see what he goes for. He goes for Isaiah Crowell. Very nice pick. I like that. He's going to get a lot of snaps, especially if Deshaun Kaiser starts for Cleveland, which it is expected he will. A young rookie QB with a good young running back there. Very nice pick from Dave. Let's see what he does with his second pick. This is what I'm finding interesting now. Let's see who he takes here.
I mean, we're into round 4 already.
Round 4, it's flying by. I mean, there's some good players. Still on the board. He's only got 20 seconds left.
He needs another receiver. He's only got 1 receiver.
He does need another receiver. James, I'm just going to hand the mic to you for a little bit. I'll steal Jack's actually. James, how do you find this draft going so far? Are you happy with the players you've got on board?
Yeah, I am actually.
CJ Anderson leaves the board. So nice pick.
Yeah, I think I've got a nice team.
Just hand it over to Dino for a moment, please. Dino, how are you finding it? Do you think obviously you had to change your strategy, but Antonio was there. You weren't expecting that.
Yeah, I've now got my 2 running backs. I think they're both okay.
Which two guys did you pick again? Sorry, Dean.
Howard and Gurley.
Very nice running back picks. I think that's, and Brim gets Kenny Britt, who's going to be the number one guy
I'm
in
going to pass this
Cleveland.
over back to Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because I'm due.
Yeah, of course. We have TB12 Prodigy. Let's see who he picks. Rob, do you know who you're picking next pick if he's available?
Yeah, this guy's gone on the bench though.
This guy's gone on the bench.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, I see why he's done it though. LeGarrette Blunt goes, and so does Amari Cooper.
Is it Matt?
It is
You
El
are
Toro
one-
Grandes,
yeah,
and then it will
one
be
away.
the Flying Baileys. I'm interested to see what El Toro does because he does know the league, but his picks so far have been interesting to say the least. Who did he pick in round 3? I totally forgot we picked in round 3.
Your team is now on the clock.
Yeah, is he still there?
I don't know who he picked, but still, doesn't matter. And Peterson goes to him, and who's Dean going to pick now? I think it's going to be an interesting one. Jarvis Landry goes to Dean, and Jameis
Yeah, I
Winston's
was
gone. We
making
knew
sure
that was going to
because I
happen.
needed that to
Tyrod
happen.
Taylor goes early to a guy who already had a QB, but Tyrod's a good guy to have in the backup, and that means I've selected the guy that I wanted. Travis Kelce comes to the Kings. Now it's where it gets interesting. Let's see what Broncos for the windows. I have a feeling he might steal the man from under my nose right here. This guy who knows the league very well.
Can you not search? Oh,
And the
you
various.
can search position.
There's a number of players still out there. A number of good players still out there. Andrew Luck, was he still on the board there, Jack? Who's that? Yeah, Andrew Luck's still a good QB out there.
Oh,
Any Squib TV fans will know that I'm a massive fan of Andrew Luck. Dean, what position are you going for in this round?
Probably another WR, I'm thinking. Maybe a quarterback, I'm not sure.
And Marcus Mariota has gone to Jack Dixon, which means it's going to be Jack Shepherd to pick now. Yeah, a WR I think would work well enough for Dino. Dino, have you got a quarterback yet?
I haven't, but according to my research, I can wait to the good 10th round for one of those.
You definitely can, to be fair,
you'll
for a
get a
starter.
decent one because they're all starters, and they're all going to guaranteed to get points. So
Exactly.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking
And interesting to see what Jack goes for
my
here.
strategy. So I have a tandem which I've got now.
What do you mean, like
James
So
wanted James. go
all
on.
the points that James Winston, Mike Evans will be getting will be all going to me. So that's positive. But obviously, I'm
nice.
relying on the Buccaneers to do well.
Well,
which
you did say on Squib that you thought the Bucks would have a good season,
I
so
do.
I think
I
that's
do
going to be
think they have a
good.
good season.
Jack, he's taken a while. He's only got a few seconds left, and I think he's going to go for the guy on his screen. If he does, I think it's a good pick. Alshon Jeffrey, very nice pick. He's got 2 picks in a row. Still no QB. And is Derek Carr not on the list?
Carr is on the board. Yeah.
And this is a man that you could end up taking.
Oh, it's too early.
He thinks it might be too early for him.
5, it's too early.
Around 5 too early to take Derek Carr, but he is a man that guaranteed him points last time. Christian McCaffrey still there on the board. Interesting to see the rookie. Will he get selected? Will he not?
I don't actually think so.
You can do.
Why on your Kings does it say good luck lads?
I sent a message in the chat.
Oh.
So there is a message in the chat that says good luck lads
Oh, I didn't
to the
think- I
lads
didn't
involved
know.
in this chat. And Jack he's spent far too long and he ends up going with Derek Carr anyway there.
Pushed into that.
Let's see what Broncos for the windows. Well,
Do you want to comment on that?
Go on, Jack. You won't be picking for a while anyway.
Yeah, there was no. I wasn't reaching too far for him, but there was no good running backs there that valued where I was gonna. I don't know.
This guy's going to get you points, I think, personally.
Yeah, all the running backs in that area where I was were overrated, basically.
I think Derek Carr's he's one of the better QBs, highest paid player in the league now.
And since
Is
I don't
that
get a pick
Demarius
for 30
Thomas who's just
30
gone there?
picks.
And Demarius Thomas goes. I'm going to take a QB in this round. The guy that I projected myself to pick. Ertz has gone.
Your team is now on the clock.
Right, there you go.
Damn, I'm stuck between 2. We'll go with
It's the
this
Flying Baileys on there.
one. Oh shit, I don't know who to go for. This is from research. Apparently, this guy's going to do okay this season.
And he takes Terrell Pryor, a guy who was on my draft board. Very good pick. I enjoyed that one, Dean.
Thank you.
That's going to be a nice
Good
little.
enough to get him on DeAndre.
Justin Tucker, a kicker.
A kicker goes to Glove.
Yeah, but
this guy, this guy got the
just
most
one of them
points.
teams, just one of them players that
You don't
you
pick
know.
a kicker in the fifth.
If the game needs swinging one
No,
way or
in
the
fifth,
other.
no.
Just to say, Joe Mixon, the rookie,
there
is
you go.
gone.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
He's very like,
He's a
don't
good
pick a
pick.
kicker in the fifth.
I wouldn't personally pick a kicker there, but we'll allow him to pick him.
I'll keep the mic.
Is he the guy who I picked there? Is the former Brown, isn't it?
He is the former Brown Dean, who's a very good pick as well. Who's that? Jimmy Graham goes.
Jimmy Graham and Kirk Cousins.
Jimmy Graham obviously is his name, but if we're saying it in an American accent, Jimmy Graham it is. So DeAndre Hopkins goes. Not Joe Reed, I forgot his Jordan Reed, not the former Billingham campus man. Golden Tate goes. Dave with some nice picks there. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm interested to see what happens in this round. Golden Tate goes. Greg Olson goes. Nice pick from Cameron there, who is the
Auto pick, isn't it?
It was an auto pick, yes, but good to see from the auto pick.
Well done, auto pick.
I think there's still some good players out there on the board. It gets to the point where it depends who other people pick, because it's going to be very difficult, I think, to select. And good to see TB12 Prodigy involved in this draft all the way from America. Actually, he's an English guy, but he's drafting from America. So it's cool that he's managed to get involved. Picked a decent few players so far. And who's he gone for this time? He goes for Deshaun Jackson. Nice pick. I like that one. Andrew Luck goes to the Draytons on auto pick there, but solid quarterback for that man. Who's on the board now? It's Glove again. So let's see how well he does.
How many tries do I need to?
3, I'd probably say.
2 at the moment. No, I've got 3, haven't I?
Your team is now on the clock.
And here comes Dino and Tyler Eifert goes. What a great pick that is! A man who's going to have a stellar season. And Kyle Rudolph has gone, and Keenan Allen has gone. Nice pick.
I had to have a Bengals man in there.
And Carlos Hyde will be coming to the Kings. He is.
Your team is now on the clock.
It's all gone quiet.
It has gone quiet. People trying to just find, and my laptop's not very good with the mouse control, so got the guy I want. I can see some people on a few people's draft boards. I'm intrigued to see what people are going to go for. Bilal Powell looks like he's getting taken. He does get taken, but who's he going to take next? That's a question. He's got some good players already. Wide receiver, there's a few good ones there.
No QB.
I think there's definitely some guys that I would take, and still up there in the wide receiver position. Willie Snead is always a good option there. We've seen on the board. Dean, how are you finding your team so far? Do you think it looks good?
I think it's, yeah. I'm happy with it.
I think most people have picked good teams so far. I mean, intrigued by Rob's a bit of an interesting team, but I mean, you can't look past the fact he's got the MVP there and Ezekiel Elliott. And he goes with Allen Robinson there. Nice pick. Let's see what Broncos for the win will do here. This could throw my pick into disarray, but we'll see what he does. See if he has a similar strategy to myself. I've got 2 options. Jack, how are you finding your team so far?
I don't know. It's not as good as I was expecting it so far. It's been very strange. There's been a lot of weird picks that didn't happen in mocks, so I'm not expecting any of these picks to come up, and it's hard to analyse on the fly.
It is certainly. I think a lot of these players you expect to still be there, and then players go. But it is what it is, and it's been very interesting so far. I'm still intrigued to see what. And he goes for Davante Adams. Nice pick, and this is a risky one by myself, but I've sorted out that defence now. It was the highest ranked defence last season, because obviously you get those kick return yards as well, and I've got Tyreek Hill, so I've locked him up and I've stopped anyone else getting Tyreek Hill's benefits, because I think he's one of the best players in the NFL at the minute. Hopefully keep themselves out of trouble, which would be nice. Dak Prescott goes to a team that already had a QB. So interesting to see what's going to happen now. James, who are you thinking of going for next?
Potentially a defensive or some sort of position like that.
Some good players gone there. Eddie Lacy's just gone. Hopefully he has a good season. Russell Wilson has just gone. Broncos defense has gone.
We're going for defenses early here.
I don't think it matters so much because I think because other people go for them, it leaves other players still out on the board, which is interesting.
Yeah, they are going fast. So
the defenses are going fast now as well. Even the auto picks are starting to take the defenses. Seahawks go now. I think people forget you get the special teams points from defenses as well. So they aren't actually a bad thing to go for.
Nervously waiting for Brim.
Yep. See who he picks there. Seahawks defense was the last one.
Will Lutz.
To go for Will Lutz goes. He gets a kicker in there. I think it's still too early to get kickers because every team has a kicker, and there's only 12 teams in this league. There's 12 good kickers in this
It's a
season.
nerve-wracking experience.
And Dre Jones go for the Vikings defense, which has thrown James off. He's gutted now.
That was very much what I wanted there.
Matt Forte goes to Glove, takes him for the Jets. Interesting team that he's got there. And Ben Roethlisberger goes to Dino. I like that pick. A guy who's got a lot of weapons around him. James goes for the Cardinals defense.
Yeah.
Rob goes with the Rams defense. James, is Martavis Bryant fit and alive?
He is, yes.
Is he going to be good?
I hope so.
Well, he's coming to me then. Martavis Bryant joins.
It's a very good pickup. I like it.
Late on as well. I'm quite glad to get him so late. Still got 5 picks each left, which is certainly going to be interesting.
Nerve-wracking.
Your team is now on the clock. Your team is now
And he gets a kicker there, and
Slightly too early for that sort of thing, but you know.
kicker.
Again,
Remember,
these players can swing the games, kind of, these kickers.
they can.
I thought you'd got the same guy twice.
No, it's Martavis and then Matt Bryant went in a row there, so it looks interesting. But those two guys went and are different people.
Pick Willie Sneed last.
No, you did not pick Willie Sneed. You ended up with somebody, Bilal Powell. I'm guessing Willie Sneed will be going this time. I think there's some great players out there still available. And he runs down the clock. And he's only got 4 seconds, and he goes for Willie Sneed in the end there.
It's tense.
And the Giants defense go.
Right.
Interesting.
Kings on the clock now.
Kings. Take this guy because I feel like he might have a good year. And that's pretty much me done with.
Well, that
the
was potentially a pick I was going to go for, but thankfully I wasn't going to go for that after. And I'm on the board now. Can I get this guy?
What was that? You weren't going to go for whom?
I've got him.
He's gone Latavius.
Latavius Murray.
He's just there.
And
isn't he?
Rashard Matthews is gone, the guy I was going to pick. Has McCaffrey gone? McCaffrey has gone. I don't know who he went to.
Would you like me to check?
Yeah, we can check because I'll be interested to see whom has taken Big Chris. Jack Dixon takes a punt on that guy. I think it's a nice one, a nice pick. Dean gets the Patriots defense. That's a good pick. Dean, you happy with that one?
It was a bit of a toss-up, really. I was going to pick the Panthers one,
I think that's
but I went with New England.
yeah. Well, they are the Super Bowl champions, so I think that's a fair move. I'm going to steal up the mic off you there. Actually, I'm going to go Rob halfway through or towards the end now. How are you finding it thus far?
Yeah, it's alright. I think I've got a decent team where it looks alright.
Who have you got? Who do you think the best guy you've picked is? Obviously, with no idea.
I would probably say
I don't know any players left.
probably the Well, Ezekiel Elliott, isn't it?
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott is a very good pick. Also, Matt Ryan, the current NFL MVP, most valuable player. So that's a great pickup. He's got a lot of weapons there. Taking a chance on some of your receivers with Keenan Allen and Eric Decker, but I think they'll both do all right. Tyrod on the bench is a nice option. Zach Ertz, number one tight end for the Eagles, and then Mark Ingram, a solid running back. So the Panthers defense goes to Dave there, and you can pass that on to James. Actually, James, I want to have a little conversation with you. How would you think your team's coming along? You said you were going to pick someone and didn't, and then you were happy you didn't get picked or something.
I was basically just looking to the wide receivers and then realised I hadn't maybe not picked up another running back. And then saw Latavius Murray, who's probably one of my star players last season, so there's an opportunity to get him on board.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I realised that I haven't got any receivers running back, as it happens. Marquise Lee goes very late on to Dave. I think that's a nice pick. And then Dalvin Cook, the rookie, goes to Cammy. What do you think about these rookies? You picked a rookie early on, James, in Leonard Fournette. Is it one of them that either pays off or doesn't massively?
Well, I think my team is pretty much a gamble, so we'll just see. I mean, the whole thing is a gamble, isn't it? This fantasy league.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, we saw last season Jack Dixon picked a very promising team, a lot of Jags and Texans players, and those teams pretty much bombed. But maybe this year is the teams you can never really predict. I mean, you base it off last year, and certain teams look good, but you never really know.
Your team is now on the clock.
Dino comes on there. Martellus Bennett goes to Glove, who'd be happy with that one, I assume. Cameron Brake goes to Dean, a very nice pickup on the tight end
and that screwed
position.
me over because that was what I wanted. Anyway,
That research there, late round tight end picks.
what have I done?
And it is T side on the clock now.
It is,
and he doesn't have a tight end, and he'd not be happy with it. Maybe who's he going to select? And he gets Hunter Henry, the guy I said he was going to pick anyway, who he didn't pick. Robbie Kelly goes to Robbie, which is interesting. And a bit of a risk to get Jeremy Hill, but I don't see why the Bengals wouldn't play Jeremy Hill still.
What's RWT?
Running back, wide receiver, or tight end.
Oh, right.
Your team is now on the clock.
What the hell's happened to Doug Martin, by the way?
Doug Martin's got
only projected 5.
He's got he's banned
I'm not doing that.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Wow, I'm going to pick up this guy.
And interesting to see, just looking around at people's boards, what they've got on there, seeing things, seeing what who's on people's thing. It's just interesting to see who people are actually going to look to pick. WR's good as a running backs. They're the players I would advise you to select more of. So you don't know what I'm going to be doing myself. Still got 2 more. And he ends up with John Brown, the Cardinals man, and Eric Ebron goes, and I will then take Corby Fleener into this team. Ted Ginn's gone.
Now on the clock.
I'm just trying to think of what I need now, so probably another running back over a receiver, and then a kicker maybe. I'll see actually who's out there. James, what were you thinking going into this late round? It's more bench players now. Is it better to have more running backs? Is it better to have more receivers? What do you think?
I've balanced out to slightly more. I've got how many running backs? I've got 1, 2, 3 running backs. So I need another running back. That's what I'm going to go for.
Also, apologies for if you're watching this live stream and you've seen there's a lot of silence and stuff going on. I think we'll probably do a recap at the end of it all to see what's what, who's picked who, and we'll look through the teams that way rather than us do it mainly through this. Obviously, if you're interested to see who gets picked, this is the best way to do it. But we'll have an evaluation of the teams where we'll actually get everyone involved. Just too quick, really, to get things to make a sort of comment on every pick. But there's been some decent players selected, obviously, as we go through. El Toro Grandes, who's he selected? He goes for the Buccaneers defense. Dre Tones, they're going to auto-pick, and who are they going to auto-pick?
Man, another player.
And they picked Tevin Coleman, the guy who was on my draft board, actually, as well.
To me, was probably naive.
But it's
I'm quite aware where to hope that guy doesn't go.
certainly players out there who I would have wanted to select.
Last 2 picks coming up.
I think it's very interesting. The thing is, though, as well, you can't really ever predict it because you don't really know who's and running backs can appear at random points through the year as well, which I tend to find happens. But it's looking very more likely I'm not going to be going for a running back in this at this point.
It's quite a nervy experience waiting for so many picks to go before your particular pick.
Yeah, it is. You never quite know who's going to get selected as well. I mean, see Sam Bradford go there today. I think he's already got a QB, but solid bench option.
He is. I mean, we're all going to have to draft in a QB at one. Well, not drafting, but add a QB at some point because for our bye week. So
hopefully, obviously, you get a better. Hopefully, there's some of those QBs now. I mean, the fact of like Rob taking Tyrod Taylor off the board early on, meaning that he's got a decent backup QB already there, which I think is fairly decent. I've only got the one QB, however, I'm not going to play with the reserve one. And Chris Hogan goes.
It's a good pickup.
It is good to see him going, actually. And there goes Danny Woodhead. Let's see whom is left. Eli Manning goes. James, you want to tell us about Eli Manning? Why he's a great player to have on your fantasy team?
Well, he's a random player to have on your fantasy team. He could produce a 30-point plus game.
Can you just pass that to Dino for a second?
Can't spell elite without Eli.
You certainly can't, can you, Dean? And he didn't really do you very well, did he, James? But we'll see how he.
Well, he didn't do me very well, and then I dropped him, and then he started performing. So
he picked up the pace as soon as he wasn't part of the team with the profanity in its name, which is probably a fair reason why. Can you hold that for a second? Just balance it there. Well, that steamer slices it.
Come on, El Tobo.
Your team is now on the clock.
No, my guy's gone. Shit.
Who are you looking to pick? CJ Proceeds.
I like it.
James White goes. Who was the guy that Rob wanted? James
Couple of
Henrys. Derrick Henry.
Couple of Henrys there. All the Henrys.
And see who Rob goes for here. Oh, he's mugging me off. He's taking the guy I was just about to take.
I like it. I like that pick.
West.
Your quiz.
Now on the clock.
Get in. Well, look at that. Look at the kickers I've got left.
Tell you what, my team's looking good.
Your team is now on the clock.
Oh, yeah, this is my last pick, so I have to pick a kicker.
Same here, Dean. Apologies if you're watching this in complete silence. I'm just trying to eat a pizza.
And if anyone knows the obviously fantasy draft, so no, it takes a lot of concentration. So obviously we'll give you a recap shortly, but
certainly will.
Just going through the final round, I believe. Well, I only have one more pick.
One more pick for everyone now. Broncos for the win. Jack has finished his draft, and that's true.
Okay, and Jack has got his team together. Right, I was going to give him the mic there, but he's currently occupied with a slice of pizza.
Pass me the mic.
Would you like the mic?
I would like the mic, yeah. Yeah, that was a bad draft on my part.
Oh, you're just going to let that auto pick a kicker for you?
No,
not me.
It was on Dixon.
It was on Dixon, and he ended up with Duke Johnson, and now I get a kicker.
But you pick my pick for you.
they're all average as heck. I'll go with the guy because at least I get to see when he scores.
Graham Gano.
The guy who only missed like one kick in the when we went to the Super Bowl, and that
Good
was when
kicker for
we
James
missed
there.
in the.
Reliable. Ooh, nice message there. Best of luck this season from the draft.
McManus, kicker. There, for Dino.
And Manus.
It's just a kicker, really. They're all just
Who
kickers
did
at
Rob
this
take?
point.
Kai Forbath? Yeah, it's going to be pretty boring at this point, I think. Apart from Glove, because he picked Justin Tucker early on, didn't he? And he gets Marvin Jones late on.
These guys already have kickers, though, don't they?
There's still some good teams out there.
Corey Davis, a rookie.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a very good season. Louis.
You never know.
No, Corey Davis will be fine. I think Louis' team's pretty bad. I think it shows
Giovanni Bernard.
picking your team is much better.
And
Rashad
you know what we're
Perriman.
coming up to here?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr.
Let's see what Adam
Irrelevant
Thiel goes,
is-
and Mr. Irrelevant's going to be. We need to see this because I missed it last year. Pick 1, 5, 6 in our draft, which is Mr. Irrelevant. It's going to be Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Pick someone decent, Dave. And
No.
I hope he doesn't need a kicker or a defense.
He doesn't know.
Who does he need?
Anything he wants. He's got a kicker and he's got a defence.
And who did he
Oh,
pick?
who was Mr. Irrelevant?
Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory. was
Chris Ivory.
picked. So yeah, now we'll we'll have a little recap of the draft now. Then I guess we'll go through the teams, team by team. We'll see.
I'll get them up.
We'll go with your team first, Jack. It's on our screen here. We'll have a conversation with you and other people about it.
So this is my team, right?
Yep. So 2 seconds. Let me just thingy something to set your mind. Yeah. So quarterback Derek Carr.
Oh.
Running backs, you've got 4. You've got David Johnson, Bilal Powell, Mike Gillisley, Paul Perkins.
I'm happy with that running back team.
Yeah, I think decent ones there. Gillisley, hopefully he'll start a bit more. Perkins probably will be the starter now at the New York
And
team.
Bilal as well.
Bilal Powell probably will start as well. All starters at least. Receivers, Jordy Nelson, Alshon Jeffrey, Allen Robinson, Willie Snead, John Brown. John Brown, I think, is decent. Willie Snead was good last year. Allen Robinson probably will do okay. Alshon, I imagine, will be fine. And Jordy Nelson's decent.
Jordy Nelson was a steal for where he was. I had to take him.
Jordy Nelson's a very good player there. Getting Rob Gronkowski at tight end, interesting pick if he stays fit. That's going to be a
It's
steal.
very risky, that.
Mason Crosby, kicker, fine. Bengals, solid defense.
It's just a D.
Jack, what do you think of your draft overall then?
It's not as good as half of my mocks, but I can't be disappointed with it. I've got David Johnson there. I've got Derek Carr, QB I like. Not the QB I wanted, but a QB I like nonetheless.
Which QB were you planning to go for?
I was hoping to get Drew Brees, but I wasn't willing to go earlier than the 5th.
He went in like round 3 or something, I think.
In mocks, I was getting him round 5 every time.
Yeah,
but in our league, the QBs went very early. So
James, what do you think of Jack's team? Steam that mic over there. James, what do you think? I mean, it's on the board here. If you can't, you probably
try and
can't
get
see
up on
it,
my
but-
actual
Yeah,
place here.
yeah. I mean, what do you think of that team? So, QB, Derek Carr, decent
Well, that's the
running
guy who
backs.
was with him last season, you know, solid pick.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking of it?
David Johnson, obviously the main guy, expected to get probably the main amount of points. Bilal Powell, probably the main running back at the
I think he'll split snaps with Forte,
Yeah.
but I think he'll definitely start probably
Nelson
more
steal,
games.
as you say. Gronkowski, another steal, I think, if he stays fit.
I know.
If he stays
Anyone
fit.
on that team that you would have liked to pick, James?
If I'm honest, not really. But that, because there's so many players in the league. But these were not the sort of guys I was thinking at all.
Personally, I wouldn't have taken any other. Bilal Powell was on my board as one of the backs that I took late in, but
Crosby possibly
other
for
than
me.
that, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have said no to any of those players, but I wouldn't have. Probably would have. I think that's a solid team. Dino, you think that team's all right? Any opinion on that one?
I don't really know any of them, to be honest.
That's fine. Rob, I would ask you the same, but I assume you
Obviously,
will be
Gronkowski.
very much
if he can
in the
stay
same.
sleeper and bust list, and I got most of my sleepers.
Well, yeah, I think that's been a decent draft. So we'll go. Well, who was next in the draft? It was Broncos for the win, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Broncos for the win. So these guys he has got 2. He's actually managed to get himself 2 quarterbacks, which is interesting with the 4 players on the 4 players on the bench. Mariota and Rivers. I assume he'll be starting Mariota. James, you got the mic there. Do you think he'll be starting Mariota?
You would imagine so. I mean, yeah.
I think he's got a very nice running back selection. Le'Veon Bell, Jay if he's fit,
I like
Christian
this team.
McCaffrey,
I
Duke
think
Johnson.
it's a very good team.
Receivers, Des Bryant, Demarius Thomas, Davante Adams, Mike Wallace, solid. Can't say anything more than that. Eric Ebron, he's the risk for me. At tight end, I don't think he plays that well.
No, he's not.
Matt Bryant, great kicker. Giants defense, one of the best in the league last season. Any players you would have taken in that one? Anyone? Well, you can answer that, James, if there isn't any.
Potentially, but not really. JJ, Le'Veon, obviously.
Le'Veon Bell, yeah, the
Obviously,
second overall pick.
And Davante Adams is pretty decent for the tease last season.
I like Davante Adams, yeah. We'll move on to my team then. See who I've got. Fairly interesting team, I think. Fairly mixed. I really like it, but obviously it's because I picked it. And I
I'm
thought
sure
that
on
it
your
was
running back car there, but
Spencer Ware, Carlos Hyde, Jeremy Hill, and Jacquizz Rodgers. I'm not necessarily sold on, but wide receivers, I think I've got 4 great ones: Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Martavis Bryant, Kelvin Benjamin. Tight end, probably the best or one of the best in the league in Kels. Defence, the Chiefs, I really wanted the Chiefs defence. Matt Stafford, I know he can air it out, and Graham Gano, just average kicker because I needed a kicker. Running back's probably my weakest position, but I think I'm fairly happy with the rest of the team there. Who picked after me? Was that Rob? Let's see what Rob is like, because I mean, this guy had no idea what he was doing really.
ooh, it's not a bad team.
Matt Ryan, MVP, is going to start him. Ezekiel Elliott, Mark Ingram, Robert Kelly, Terrence West. That's a nice running backs. Keenan Allen, Eric Decker, Rashad Matthews, and Ted Ginn. Obviously, I have doubts about Ted Ginn, but if he returns kicks, that's decent. Zach Ertz, Jack, do you think he'll do well?
Yeah, he's all right. He's just a tight end, really. You're not going to get many points from a tight end either way.
And I like the pick of the Rams defense. I think that's a solid pick. Just that's the good thing about the Rams, that they actually have a good defense. After that, was it not the Teesside team themselves?
It was the Teesside team.
The Teesside team. Let's see what the Teesside team did. So Jameis Winston is at quarterback there. Leonard Fournette, Ty Montgomery, Latavius Murray, Derrick Henry. Very solid. Mike Evans, Sammy Watkins, Emmanuel Sanders, Jeremy Macklin. I like it. Rudolph and Henry, then Vinatieri and the Cards. I think that's a pretty solid team. I quite like that team.
I'm fairly confident with it. I think definitely getting that tandem in.
Anyone else want any of those players? Anyone else, would they have picked any of those players?
Evans.
I mean, I would have picked Mike Evans. I was prepared to pick Mike Evans
if he
at
dropped,
number 3 if Julio went. If Le'Veon dropped, I was not going to pick him. Let's have a look at Dino's team. Interesting to see. Dino Manu researched it well, and his team looks pretty good for me. Ben Roethlisberger, great QB. Only 3 running backs: Jordan Howard, Todd Gurley, and James White. Jordan Howard and Gurley will start. James White, I assume, will be the bench running back. Antonio Brown, Jarvis Landry, Terrell Pryor, they'll probably all start. Then Meredith and Marshall. 2 brilliant tight ends. Good kicker, solid defence. I think that's a team that potentially could be very much up there. And I just
like I've got, he's got Big Ben and
Antonio. Dean, do you just want to make a comment on your team there? Because I think that's one of the better sides.
I was fairly lucky with how it went with Antonio in the first round, being left till 6, which I wasn't expecting. So I happily snapped him up, and I've got Tyler in there, so I've got a Cincinnati man in there, even though the success train has well and truly left. But overall I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's a very good team. That's one of the teams I think is one of the better ones.
Antonio dropping to 6 is obviously me not showing faith in my own side there.
Yeah, because you picked Mike Evans over him, which I would have done as well. But who was after that? Who picked up? Was that El Toro Grandes after that? We'll have a look at them anyway. And they get... I think it's classic glove selections. Tom Brady, obviously, he's going to get him loads of points, but he went for him in round 1. Dak Prescott, no one else can have Dak now, which is a decent move. Marshawn Lynch, old running back who's moved to a new team. Adrian Peterson, old running back who's moved to a new team. Matt Forte, old running back in his 2nd season at a new team. CJ Precise probably won't play. I mean, you never know with these guys. They might all be really good. I just don't see them being that well. T.Y. Hilton will be great. Michael Crabtree will be all right. Randall Cobb will be all right. Marvin Jones will be all right.
It'll be all right.
His team's average, isn't it? I think he's one of them teams where he could do really well, but it's definitely banking on Tom Brady being really good for me.
Of course it is. Yeah.
But I mean, Tom Brady is going to be really good, isn't he? But it's based on him.
I feel like that's a bit like Jack's team, though. Depends on Rob.
On Gronkowski, yeah, and the Raiders. I think it was Dre Tones at this point, so this was an auto-pick team which has Andrew Luck at QB, then it has DeMarco Murray, Joe Mixon, Tevin Coleman and Theo Riddick. Decent running backs. It has Odell Beckham, Mike Thomas, Amari Cooper, Jameson Crowder and Corey Davis. I just think he's got too many receivers there and he's missed out on other players because you can't play all four of those top four guys and they're the people that play there. Jack Doyle, Dan Bailey, Vikings defense, average, decent team. Yeah, but you had not as good ones as he did, I don't think. Especially Amari Cooper's his third best one there, according to this, which means Jameson Crowder won't play, which I would play. Jameson is the one. Dre Tone's team. After that, we have Salamanders. Oh, no, I think we missed TB12 Prodigy. I'll look at TB12 Prodigy at this point. Hanson's picked well. He's only got 3 receivers though. Edelman, Jackson and Garcon, who are all great players. Running backs, Freeman, Blunt, Stewart and Bernard. QBs, 2 to choose from. If Breeze isn't doing that well, Cam might be having a good season. Jimmy Graham, Antonio Gates, Janikowski and the Texans defense. I like his team a lot. The players in there, I would have gone for the Texans if I didn't get the Chiefs defense. Deshaun Jackson was on my board. Devontae Freeman was on my board, as was Jonathan Stewart. So I really much like that one. Sheffield Salamanders will go to now. Kirk Cousins and Eli Manning, you don't need both of them. Kirk probably the better. Frank Gore, old guy. Lamar Miller is good. Akeem Abdullah probably will start for Detroit. Fitzgerald's great. Kenny Britt's great. Stephon Diggs is great. Dante Moncrief's going to make plays, and Brashad Perriman's one of the stars in Baltimore, so I think that's not a bad team. Delaney Walker, one of the best tight ends. Will Lutton, the Broncos defense. I think he's all right. I think his running backs are pretty weak, but I think we find that with a lot of teams. I think it's the running backs that have...
I think a lot of people are taking risks on the running back positions. So
yeah, I think it's very hard to find
the good
starters.
running backs went early on, didn't they?
Yeah, the running would go instantly. Is it then if it's on the clock? Russell Wilson. This guy's got every good running back. That's why. No, he hasn't actually. He's only got 2. LaShawn McCoy, Melvin Gordon, Dalvin Cook, Doug Martin won't play. Danny Woodhead, Brandon Cooks, Doug Baldwin, DeAndre Hopkins, Adam Thielen. Wouldn't have gone for Adam Thielen in a month of Sundays. And they play on Sunday as well in the NFL, so that shows how highly I rate Adam Thielen. Greg Olsen, good pickup. Cairo Santos and the Seahawks defense. Seahawks aging defense probably not going to be as good as they used to be. And it was an auto-pick team. I don't really like rating them because I just think it's a bit boring. If you can't be bothered to go on it, then yeah. I mean, I don't know if he was busy, but he saw the messages. And Dave's team.
He's all right.
Aaron Rodgers, solid QB. Sam Bradford, decent backup. Isaiah Crowell, I like. CJ Anderson, I like. Eddie Lacy, could be all right. Chris Ivory, could be all right. AJ Green's going to get you grabs. Golden Tate's going to get you grabs. Marquise Lee's going to get you grabs. Chris Hogan's going to make plays. Jordan Reed, Stephen Gostkowski and the Panthers defense. I think that's one of the teams that could be up there challenging for the playoffs. You never know how the season's going to go. Based on last season, this team would be probably maybe even in the Super Bowl, to be honest.
He's in my division, I'm worried.
He's not. He's in the division which also has the El Toro Grandes, which I'm not particularly worried about. Kings and Broncos for the win.
It's a top division, right?
It is because you put all the guys who were good in last season in my division, so I didn't win the Super Bowl again.
Oh, right, yeah.
Basically, whilst your division has everyone who wasn't in it last year. So obviously wasn't. No, the division. You can't rate any because it depends on what the teams are, and you don't. I mean, Dave's team looks good there. Aaron Rodgers gets injured, then he's only got Sam Bradford. AJ Green has a bad season, or CJ Anderson doesn't play so well. You never know. I mean, and you're looking at teams that. I mean, Glove's team. All it takes is Adrian Peterson to come back like he used to be, and Marshawn Lynch to be good, and he'll be a fantastic team. You can't really predict what it's going to be like, but overall, I think fairly successful draft. Anyone want to mention anything about it, and how do we find it all? All right.
Well, we'll just see how it goes from the 10th of September.
Go on, Dean. Yeah, enlighten us.
It was a lot faster than I thought it would be, and the concentrations through the scale.
It is very, very.
It was very intense.
It's much more intense and much more difficult than the normal football draft, which I was very chilled out about. If you have watched it, or if it goes on Squib, with the good bits, because I doubt the full thing will go on. If it does,
An hour long now.
well, maybe it won't then. But maybe even if we just put the ratings of the teams on there, let us know what you thought of them. Let us know if you would have picked different players. Any players that aren't involved in our league that you think should be, because I think there's probably some players in there that we've missed out, which probably could have been picked. I mean, my running backs I'm not necessarily the most confident on. Let us know if you thought it was all right. Yeah. Anything anyone wants to add, or are we all good to end this stream?
Well, the Flying Baileys are already projected to get more points than
I know.
myself. That's our week one matchup.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Am I playing yourself? I'm overjoyed with my team. I can't believe I got Jarvis in it. I love Jarvis.
I think everyone's fairly happy with the side, aren't they, really? Well, I'm quite happy with my side. But
Then that guy was not heard of that. WR.
Is the stream done?
No, we're still going.
Right, well, we're going to end the stream now. Thank you very much for viewing. Enjoy the season.
Christ, what's happened to my screen? It's changed.
How do you say